Hey everyone, you're watching We Had That, and today I'm going to talk about the 1985 Zak action figure and his companion Bytar from Coleco's Sectars line. Coleco isn't really a name that comes to mind when I'm thinking about toys from the 80s, but they went all out with their Sectars line. Not only were there 9 action figures that came with several accessories, a bug, and their own mini-comic, but there was a large catalog of stories about their world, Symbion, told in hardback books, a Marvel comic book series, book and record sets, coloring books, and even a cartoon. There was also a variety of other merchandise like sticker books and stamp books, party supplies, and more, building up the Sectars product line. Even the commercials were excellent. They were done like old movie serials where each commercial ended on a cliffhanger that led into the next one. The commercials did an excellent job of giving life to the toys and even had episode numbers to make you feel like they were little mini TV shows. Unfortunately, the line didn't seem to succeed in terms of toy sales. Even though Coleco had plans for a second wave of toys, the new figures never made it into production. Despite the awesome designs and huge marketing campaign, the Sectars disappeared almost as quickly as they had arrived. Although I don't remember much about the books, comics, or cartoons from my childhood, I do remember seeing 2 guys in amazing Sectars costumes in a toy store in London promoting the new toy line. I also remember the 2 Sectars action figures that I had as a kid, Mantor and Waspax. Waspax actually doesn't stand out in my memory quite as much as his flying companion Winged, which I've yet to replace in my collection as an adult. I also distinctly remember selling both of those figures with all of their accessories, paperwork, and boxes at a church sale when I was a few years older, which I rarely do. I still have most of my childhood toys, and I'm not really sure why I sold my Sectars. Over the years, I acquired a few Sectars when buying small lots of action figures, and with one regrettable exception, I've always set them aside rather than pass them on. The one exception being a very nice Skulk and Trancula, which I unfortunately sold. They had arrived in a toy lot that I had mainly bought for Masters of the Universe and Superpowers figures, and at the time, I wasn't really interested in Sectars, so I let them go. Anyway, even though I thought the Sectars were extremely cool as a kid, they didn't see much action. I think the main reason is that at 7 inches tall, they weren't compatible with any of my other action figures, which were mostly 3 3/4 inch. Plus, they were pretty expensive compared to other action figures, so I couldn't even get the whole line. Until recently, I hadn't actively sought out Sectars, but once I realized I had a pretty good start to a collection, I began researching the figures and it renewed my interest in these cool insect creatures. There were only 9 in the line, and 2 of those were just different versions of the same character. Since there were so few characters in the Sectars toy line, each one of them made regular appearances in all of the various stories. Each of the 4 good guys was a basic character type. Dargon was the leader, Mantor was the wise older guy, Pensor was the big jolly guy, and the subject of today's video, Zak, was the young hotshot. Zak was a fun-loving hero who had more courage than patience. He was also the captain of the Royal Guard. According to the biography on the back of his package, Zak fears nothing and bows to no one except his friend and leader Dargon. It also mentions that he's the fastest and most feared marksman in the Shining Realm. He came packaged with his insectoid companion Bytar, the war beast with jaws of iron. Although I never had this figure as a kid, it seems like I should have. Zak is basically the cool sidekick of the main hero, and Bytar is one tough bug. Zak and Bytar are telebonded together like all Sectars are with their insect companions, so they can communicate to some degree. This is shown in both the comic books and the cartoon. Bytar is almost always right next to Zak in all of their battles and adventures, and he's also been known to use his biting ability for other things besides fighting, like chomping through a wooden door one time in the cartoon. According to the package, only Zak can stop Bytar's jaws once the fighting begins. All of the Sectars figures, and even the giant Hive playset, came with a mini-comic, but the mini-comic that came with Zak didn't mention him or Bytar by name on the cover. Although Zak was featured a good bit in the story, it seems like kind of a generic comic. I believe it was sometimes included with other figures too, but that may have had more to do with the cover including all of the characters rather than the story inside. Zak is the only character who didn't have a mini-comic cover that specifically mentioned him. Zak came with several accessories. Like most of the Sectars, he wore a removable belt or harness with a holster for his pistol. The pistol was a venom-shooting Ven gun. Skull was a material harvested on the planet Symbion that was used to make extremely strong armor. It's shown being harvested often in the books, comics, and cartoons. The Zak figure also came with a skull-piercing Slazer submachine gun with removable strap, and lastly, he had a small, heavy-duty battle shield made of tempered skull. The shield was so small that it seemed kind of pointless, but it was cool that he came with so many accessories. Zak's companion Bytar was also included in the package. Bytar had a button on his back, which made his jaws open and snap shut, which seems like it would have been a great feature for an action figure as a kid. The figure Zak and his insect companion Bytar made a great team, and it's too bad that the Sectars line didn't find the audience it needed for Coleco to deliver a second wave of action figures. What did you think of the Zak action figure and his companion Bytar? Did you have any of the Sectars action figures as a kid? Which ones were your favorite? Tell me in the comments below. Also, please give this video a thumbs up and share it on social media. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel and hit that notifications bell so that you'll be notified when I post new videos. And one last thing, if you're a fan of toys, you should know about ToyLanta, the biggest toy show in the southeastern United States, held annually just north of Atlanta, Georgia. Visit ToyLanta.com for more information. As always, thanks for watching.